Good afternoon, traders. This is CloudChartist with your daily grain wrap-up. Starting off with crude. We see crude made a very nice move today. In fact, myself and some of my subscribers were able to take a $5 profit from this move, although in the end we're only up $2.90 or thereabouts at the moment. Still changing a little bit, but so as far as what happened in this move and what we can expect going forward on the daily time frame, we see that we put in a significant bounce off the Kijun Sen located at 43.64 on the continuous contract here, and price continued to go quite a bit higher and reaching a high of 49.33. Wow. And then selling off back down to now it's around 48.10. But you see that we have the Chicago span over here, this red line representing price time shift 26 periods into the past, and that is sticking into this red candle here where I suggested we would find resistance. And in fact, I would not be surprised to see the closing candle be exactly at the same level as the bottom of this candle, which is at 47.97. That would be a few cents down from here, but that's the level I was looking for resistance on the daily time frame. So really, we had a perfect move from, as indicated by Ichimoku charts today. A perfect bounce off the Kijun Sen, and then a perfect sell into resistance here when the Chicago hits this candle. So going forward, we need to see whether or not the Chicago can get through this candle, or whether it gets rejected and then price goes lower. If we do go higher, then we will have resistance at the cloud, and then that will be at approximately 52.22. And if we go lower, we will have support once again at that same 43.64 level. We are no longer oversold, obviously, and yet we are not overbought either. So let's look at ES. Let me zoom in a little bit more even so we can see the specifics of this. So ES had a kind of a rocky day today, opening up below with a significant gap down below the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen, and then traded up to this resistance area that I've been talking about for a while, which is around 1988. In fact, it didn't quite tag 1988; it tagged 1987.75, and then proceeded to turn around and sell beyond the Kijun Sen at 1970.13, and it's at the current moment it's holding the Tenkan Sen at 1964.50. So it's important to see where it does actually close. So if it closes above 1964.50, we can look for perhaps a bounce, but we will then have resistance at 1970.13. And if it closes below 1964.50, then we can look for lower prices. Overall, this chart is bearish still. It's under the cloud. Let's look at some grain charts. Corn today put in another doji type candle, unable to get over the Tenkan Sen as it has been for the last several days. Let me keep it at that. I think that if you've been watching my videos, you know that overall this chart is bearish. There is this one aspect to point out. It looks like it's possible that the Chicago over here, this red line representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past, is actually poking into the cloud here. If it does get into the cloud and find support, then we can expect higher prices, but then it needs to get back over the Tenkan Sen here at 376.13. That's really key for any more upside or any upside from here. Let's look at soybeans. I almost said that with a lisp. Soybeans. All right, soybeans actually made it over the Tenkan-sen today, so that's a little bit of bullish progress for the soybeans as they were bouncing up and got rejected by the last yesterday, Friday's candle. They made it over the Tenkan-sen today. So, what can we expect going forward? We can expect potential for the gap fill and to this candle, and the body gap on this candle is 890.25. So we can look for a potential like $4.50 move, something like 4.5 point move back to there, and then if we go higher, we can look for potential resistance at this 908 level, and then potentially all the way up to 925.75, where we find the flat Kijun-sen above, potentially attracting price. Let's look at bean oil. I guess that's the Z5 contract also. Bean oil put in a long-legged doji type candle today, was unable to get over the Kijun-sen, but it did hold support of the Tenkan-sen, so it did trade within this range here. And a lot of buyers came in, so the fact that we closed near the top of the candle is somewhat bullish, even though it is a red candle. We did close slightly down on the day. So until we break this range, either by losing 27.27 or breaking out above 28.42, we're in a range. And overall, the bias on this chart is bearish as we're under the cloud. Bulls really need the price to be get over this 28.42 Kijun-sen level, or wherever the Kijun-sen opens up tomorrow. Let's see. Did I do wheat yet? No. So in wheat today, we put in a bullish hammer after making a new low. Perhaps making this new low was helpful in creating this bullish hammer candle. Maybe it's defining some support down here finally for wheat. So if we do go higher, we can expect potential resistance at this level, which was prior support, and then resistance at 490. And then we can expect potential resistance at 496.25 above. But overall, wheat is still bearish. But perhaps putting in a bottom, we need confirmation of that with a higher high and a higher low tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. Corn, wheat, soybeans, bean oil. Let's look at coffee. Coffee put in a wow, I'm glad I wasn't trading coffee. This is a pretty scary candle for coffee. I don't know if you trade it intraday. This is a wide range. So coffee did put in a higher high and a lower low, so a very large outside candle with a really big wick, pretty relatively small body. But the body did close over the body of the prior candle. And so we did make some bullish progress. Although we did close pretty much in the exact same area as the prior candle. The Chikou has made it through this big red candle and has found support at the top of this big tail over here. On the left, the Chikou being this red line over here. So if the Chikou goes higher, tomorrow we're looking at potential resistance of the same level that we topped at today, basically the that's around 125.85, 125.87, yeah, 125.85. But if we do go higher, and the Chikou is able to get over the Tenkan-sen, then we could trade up to the cloud, which is tomorrow going to be located around 127.30. So making some progress off the lows for coffee, but not going to be really able to change trend from bearish to, or to change bias from bearish to neutral until we get right into the cloud here. And I'm just going to go back to ES and look at the 4-hour for Scott, because he likes to look at the 4-hour and I always forget. And he's really the reason I started making these videos. So if anybody happens to be, you know, if I have any people that I got a lot of viewers watching this video, so feel free to give me a shout out if you're you know, if you're watching this video every day, you find it helpful. If you're a grain guy and you're trying to figure out what in the world these charts mean, please feel free to either put a comment here on Ticker TV or hit me up on Twitter at CloudChartist, or if you're not following me, follow me on Twitter at CloudChartist, and you know, give me a shout about this, because I would love to hear from you. So let's go to the 4-hour on the ES. And in the event that you didn't know, I do run a chat room where we're trading this stuff live in a room. Some very experienced traders in the room, but also some less experienced traders, and everybody's sort of working together to expand everyone's knowledge, information, and general good feeling of community. Because trading can be real lonely if you're just sitting around by yourself in your house, you know, talking to the TV or something like that. It's nice to be around some, you know, some coworkers that you can bounce ideas off, etc. Ask questions. So looking at ES on the 4-hour time frame, we see that the Chikou here, this red line, is holding support of the Kijun-sen, but the Kijun-sen is going to be descending ahead. Also, we see the last 4-hour candle closed inside the cloud here, just under the top level of the cloud, and the current candle is opening up inside the cloud. So technically price action is neutral at this moment on the 4-hour time frame, and it needs to get back over the cloud, so just a couple more points from where it is to get over the cloud, and then if it goes higher, it's going to run into resistance at 974.88. We're really putting in a lot of consolidation right here for the time being on the ES. It's a pretty tight range from, let's say, I mean, this candle pretty much defines the range from, say, 1959.25 to 1988. Thereabouts is pretty much the range that we're trading in at the moment, until we can either break lower or break higher. We definitely need to get over 74.88 to break higher, and then if we go lower, we have lots of room to go lower inside the cloud and still maintain neutral price bias on this time frame. Then if we do continue to go lower, we run into the Kijun-sen under the cloud at 1921.63. So it's absolutely not out of the question that we could trade all the way back down to 1921.63 on the ES. But you know, I don't expect that yet. But I'll let you know if I think that's coming. So. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and have a restful evening, and start fresh in the morning. Unless, of course, you stay up all night and trade Europe, then have a nice nap and enjoy trading Europe, and we'll catch you tomorrow.